Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for Sunday, the 23rd of July. And this is really the remainder news because I did a lot of stuff on Saturday. And I want to say that SDCC really has taken over this weekend, so a lot of this is going to be Transformers and Star Wars. But other things that have popped up in the way, I got a little bit more information about these Silverhawks that are actually like the toy version, Wave 4 toy version. Possible pricing on these. We'll be discussing that. Also going to be discussing a little bit with some stuff going on with NECA. Not a whole lot there. Not a whole lot's changed. And then we've got some McFarlane DC stuff to take a look at. There's a Build-A-Figure wave going on there. We also have another Dungeons & Dragons figure that has been shown off, which is fantastic. And there's only 19 characters. Hopefully they can do them all. And then more Turtles stuff. This is the Super 7 Ultimates Turtles van update, heading off against the NECA van. And then, of course, we got Star Wars news. There's quite a bit of Star Wars news to go into, but nothing too amazing. This Ghost is quite interesting, quite an impressive campaign. We're going to talk about this and more coming up. Okay, starting out talking about some new stuff at Show Z, and this is the Springer G1 4th Party KO, and it's pretty interesting because it's really hard to get the blade for the original G1 Springer, and getting it in good condition. It's pretty easy to get one loose, but not in the box, and not with the blade, sword, and all the accessories, all that kind of stuff. So $43. Then there's this 4th Party AC03C TFP Cliffjumper Red Zombie and Transparent Purple version set of 2. So if you are in on this, it's $40 for 2 of these to make them 20 each. Looks pretty cool if you're into this era. And there's also the KO of the Voltron, Lego Voltron. Now here's the thing, I'm going to get hold of this, I'm going to put it together, well, I'm going to have my son put it together, then I'm going to review it, because I'm not into putting the Lego stuff together, and so I'm sure this isn't exactly the same as the Lego and all that, and it's called something different than Voltron, but it's only $78 instead of on the secondary market for $500, so you can decide if you wanted one of these, an official one, and maybe this is your chance to get something similar. It's my chance to get something similar. I'm looking forward to it. I've got a spot on my shelf, and so I've got it coming in. Now there's 2 different versions, and I really can't tell the difference between one is 62, one is 79. What's the difference between them is part count. So that means other stuff's going to be coming with the more expensive one. So I got the more expensive one. Hopefully it's better. So the biggest news this week is this Robosyn Grimlock. It's auto transforming, auto converting, and if you really want to know what's going on in this picture, the Masterpiece one is in the middle. It's a little in the middle, and it's got much back. That's Grimlock in Dino mode, of course. And so looking at this, that is huge. That is a massive, massive beast. And of course, you want to see what it looks like in the Dino mode. Dino mode. There it is, and it does look good. It really does just look a lot like a Masterpiece one. I do like the shinier silver that they used with it. Looks like it's got a little bit of a blue tinge to the claw paws there, but it's really impressive when you see it in action. Here's how it compares to the previous iteration, which actually I'm not even sure if this is the smaller, like Elite or whatever they called that one, or if this is the original one, but it's big, it's massive, and it's supposed to be big. He's supposed to tower over whatever scales with him, so that looks good. So I'm going to try to insert, at this point, some sort of a transforming gimmick into this so it would work. If it works, you're seeing some transforming going on, how it works, and it's quite impressive. I actually think that this is more impressive and looks more accurate to what the transformation should look like than what they did with Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime seemed to be a strange transformation. This feels exactly like you transform a Grimlock. And what do you think? Okay, so we have more pictures of the YOLO Park Megatron. Now, this one is the model kit. I thought we've seen this before, but I guess they're just promoting it more. So I think it looks fantastic. It looks very, very classic. More classic than some of the other YOLO Park stuff that's been going out. And so with that, this is definitely a win. Very G1-esque, very nice looking Megatron. But is going to be 20 centimeters, which is about 7.5 inches, which is about Chug scale. So if you need a good Chug Megatron, though, I mean, it's better than anything on the market right now. It's probably going to be a bit pricey, though. So we're starting to see the X-Transbots versions of the Omnibot Overdrive showing up, and it looks fantastic. In all the different color iterations should start arriving. Now, I haven't gotten my payment requests just yet from Shozi, so mine isn't shipping from Shozi just yet, but it should be pretty soon. Any day now, I expect that. And I look forward to this. I look forward to all three of them that are coming out, but I think we're going to see all the color iterations hitting very shortly in a short period of time. And I'm just interested in the standard one, but I'm starting to rethink it because it looks that good. There's more promo shots, or maybe I missed these last week, but the MP44 toy version, and I really was kind of thinking we were going to see the vac metallized lower legs, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. Looks like it's just going to be silver. Looks like it's going to look almost exactly like what we got with the KO, except we're going to see the paint on the red and the blue be shinier instead of matte. That's the way it looks to me. We're going to see it when it comes in, of course. I've got it pre-ordered. I'm going to be checking it out. But very interesting that they're going this route. I was hoping for vac metallized lower legs, but maybe it would just scrape too much and chip off, and that's why they avoided it. I know we had a lot of people with problems with paint chipping in the pelvis on the original go-around. So we got another Yellow Park item. This is the SDCC exclusive Bumblebee movie Nemesis Prime, and it is going to be the sample and exhibit. Pre-orders will be $25.99, so that's $2,599. Hard to get my mind around that, but anyway, it is, the height is 62 centimeters. It's got a purple globe hologram, Decepticon token, and the pre-orders are accepted at specified exhibitions. That's quite an expensive figure, but of course, so was their first one, and so here it is with the Nemesis. If you're in on this, wow. So I do think this picture sums up the Kotokia, the Bushido. This is Starscream. Of course, it's going to be all the Seekers, Thundercracker, Skywarp, all them in their style, which is quite unique and interesting. And if you're collecting it, then you know what this is all about. If you're not collecting it, you're probably not going to be joining the female statue game with iterations on Transformer characters. But I think it's pretty cool, pretty interesting, and it's fun to see how this develops. Sort of staying in the same realm of Masterpiece, here we have the Yellow Park booth. Yellow Park booth showing off some pretty cool stuff here. And this is the Primes and the Primal, and that Primal's big, so pretty cool looking. Definitely an excellent looking Primal. That's probably the best that's been made because it doesn't have to transform, highly articulated, and of course going to have an amazing paint job once they actually get it painted up. And the newer RC, she's a little thicker than some other models we've seen in the past because they're following the new style of RC, but definitely a clean, smooth look to her for the most part, and yeah, pretty interesting. I think it's exactly what the character looks like, right? I don't have much this week for Legends. Honestly, I didn't dig too hard for Legends this week because there's just so much in the main line in SDCC and all that kind of stuff going on. So with that, this is more of the New Age stuff, and so an updated picture of all of the ones that this particular person has in hand, and they look great in there with some Diaclone and all that. And so nice looking set that they have going on right now. These look good. I did say New Age, right? New Age. These are New Age. And yeah, they look great. And I don't know what more to say about this other than I like pictures like this so you can say, hey, I like that one on the far left the most. Or I like the one right in the middle. We did get more pictures of the Kane Toys CY Mini 05 Thor Mini. This is like, is this going to be the monkey pants? So anyhow, does look pretty much just like they did with the bigger one, except it's mini for the Legends scale. And here we go with the alt mode. And so I'll be taking a look at this one probably in a couple of weeks, but pretty interesting. I'm curious how this differs from the main one. It'll be interesting because I'm sure they've made some changes as they made it smaller. So I'm not sure if New Age showed this version of Sludge Off last week or not. I just don't remember seeing this one at all. And they showed 5 of them, I think. And then maybe they showed 10 of them. They showed a bunch of these last week. And so I don't remember seeing this one. And so specifically I'm showing this one. I just think it's cool. I think it's just way different than something I've ever seen before. But it might have been mixed in with all those because I saw a giant group shot, but this one didn't stand out to me. It stands out to me when it's solo like this. Okay, so I'm going to go over pretty much everything I see from the SDCC, and it's a lot. I'm just going to just hit everything that I've seen. I'm probably going to miss something, but this is the new Walmart exclusive stuff, the Toxitron collection. And I actually saw everything, including Grimlock, up in my Walmart, but I wasn't willing to pay those prices. This is kind of on the pricey side for these. And with that, I'm not down to spend all that money. I was kind of hoping maybe I'll catch some of this stuff on sale. Some of this stuff is kind of cool, but it's out there now. So if you're looking for this, seriously, if you like this stuff, go out and get it, because you may not catch it on clearance, and I play that clearance chicken, and I can live without it. But if it's something you really, really want, snatch it up. All right, so what all they show at SDCC, they showed quite a bit. This is kind of the Hasbro stuff going on there, and this is the HasLab Deathsaurus, and it looks like Vac Metallized chest piece, which also turns into his bow and arrow kind of thing. So that's pretty awesome looking. This actually is turning out to look way better than I originally thought, now that it's getting painted up and proper like. And I actually think this looks more premium than their Star Saber. But that's just my opinion, and those of you who have Star Saber will probably be able to tell me when you get these side by side, and yeah, they upped the game on this one. I think they did. Usually bad guys have to look better anyway to sell. That's kind of the way it seems, right? All right, here's some more stuff. We got pictures of, and there's kind of two levels right here. So you've got some of their movie retro series figures, which this is kind of, I've seen a lot of people saying that they like the look out of it, and then there's other people saying no, it feels like a cheap, dumbed down version of the G1s. So I mean, I can understand both sides of it, but I'm just glad, they're doing these for those who want this stuff. But I wish you could see them. Looking at the bottom row there's some of the more modern stuff, stuff we've kind of seen before, but there it is. It's a lot of the stuff we've seen before, a lot of stuff that's on display, but they want to showcase everything that they've got going on right now. So here's the Perceptor in that line, which I think he looks great. He looks excellent. Then the Hound, I actually think Hound looks way better than the vintage one, and so this is one of the ones that I might actually just pay that $35 just to get him, because I think he does look that good. He really is a good looking figure. And then the vintage ones are kind of climbing in price anyway. Hot Rod, I feel like they've already done Hot Rod to death. I'm just kind of sick of Hot Rod, but I got a bunch of $9 ones, so I don't know if I could pony up $35 for that one. Then here's showing the set of the Toxitron stuff, so looking pretty cool. That Grimlock, so that yellow Grimlock, I did see it. My son actually wanted it. I was like, dude, I'm not spending $60 on that after tax. That's just, sorry, bro. Wait for a sale, or we probably just won't get one. But it looks nice, and that mold, they're milking that mold. And you know what people really want is the original one reissued again. So here's just a slew of stuff. I mean, stuff that you've seen. Some of the stuff's on the shelves right now. Some of the stuff's come and gone, actually. And then some of the stuff has yet to hit. So my son's into the core class stuff now because it's cheap, and that's something that it's easy to talk me into. It's like, oh yeah, sure, you get a core class figure, I guess. But then going down, the prices go up as the shelves go down. But I am looking forward to that Beachcomber. So, and then more stuff, and again, more stuff that we've seen, but and stuff that's on the shelves right now. Still exciting though to see all this great stuff that they got going on. I really think that Hasbro Mainline is doing a phenomenal job right now. I mean, I argue some of the price points feel high for what you get, but in the grand scheme of things, for the engineering that you get, it is pretty good value compared to some of the other toy lines that are out there. Like a $25 deluxe Transformer, you get so much out of that versus a $25 like G.I. Joe Classified in some cases. So, and even more pictures of stuff that they got going on right there. So they had a ton of stuff on display. I mean, there's probably 1,000 pictures taken of the event, but I'm trying to narrow it down to as few as possible. And then here's some more of the Junkion stuff, I think. And here's some more stuff. So we've got this Troop Builder multi-pack on the bottom here. This is going to be going to Target, I believe, is a Target exclusive, which I think that looks quite interesting. It's expensive though, so that's another one of those things that I might bite on it if I could catch it on one of those crazy Target deals. So I look forward to that kind of thing. Okay, so we've got Legacy Evolution Leader Class Nova Prime. That thing looks pretty interesting. I don't know all the history about it. I just know it's a thing, and so I'm going to show it, and it does look pretty cool. I think the coolest thing that we saw out of everything is this Ultra Magnus. This Ultra Magnus definitely looks the part. It is phenomenal. They've done great work. And the past, was it Siege? And there was a Siege and then an Earthrise or whatever. But this Studio Series one takes the cake. And great job. Just excellent job that they've done with this figure. And the sad thing is when they start doing stuff like this and it's that good, then past iterations don't hold a candle to it. But they are special and unique for their own reasons, in their own way. And again, this isn't even perfect. This is you can pick it to death, you can find all the flaws in it, but for a mainline release for the $50 price point, I hope it's 50. I hope it's not Commander Class. I didn't see that anyone called it Commander Class, but I'm hoping it's the $50 price point, or $55 price point. And for a $50 price point, this is an excellent figure. So there it is in the alt mode. Definitely can do all of the same stuff we've been doing all along. And I do believe 100% that it is an all-in-one transformation. Of course, I didn't see all of that information about it, but I do believe it's an all-in-one transformation. Be interesting to see how it transforms, and still looks pretty clean. Legacy Evolution, Ariel and Dion, which we've seen before, but it's cool to see the official picks again. So here it is. I think it's a pretty cool set. It might even be up for order right now. The coolest thing, well, the second coolest thing is not up for order just yet. But there it is in the alt modes. There's the next thing I'm going to talk about is pretty impressive. I figured they'd do it, but it took them a while. It took them a while to do this box set. So this box set of Menasor, and it's going to be, I don't know the price on it just yet. Because you think 90 plus 100, is it going to be 190? They're going to figure out a way to get it to like 170 or 165 or something because it's a box set. But this is the toy redeco is what they're saying, and Legacy Evolution box set. And I really feel like the combiners should come out like this. They should make the combiners in box sets because that would be easier to find, easier to track down. And I don't know very many people that just want to have one random arm and a random leg. And then, of course, you get the people that pass on the Motormaster and hoping for a sell and then don't get a sell and then they can't combine. So I like the box set idea. It's going to be a Pulse exclusive. They say something about October. It's not up for pre-order just yet. I can't find it just yet, but looks pretty good. Here is how they look in their BOD modes, which some people might argue, which I might be one of those people, that they look better than the first releases. I like that. And then here is the alt mode to these, so looking pretty cool. A lot of stuff going on at SDCC. I did see quite a few things, but I'm probably missing a few things, but I'm gonna move on from the Transformers because we do have a lot of Star Wars stuff to cover and we have a lot of gaps to fill, so let's get into this. So I'm gonna wrap up Transformers. I just got a few things to talk about still, but there's just so much. This is the Stranger Things crossover called Code Red revealed, and so you get this figure, so it turns into, you get the pizza box, comes packed in a pizza box, and that's something that might be pretty cool if you're interested in this. It's going to be $44.99 available at retail. This 2-pack is the Amazon exclusive Nova Prime Nacelle Deadeye Dual Pack, movie Decepticon pack, and so yeah, that looks pretty interesting right there. Don't know a whole lot about this, but I think it does look pretty cool, pretty interesting, and there it goes. I'm not even sure if this is an exclusive, but it's in the case at SDCC right now. They revealed a new Hot Shot. That's going to be something that's coming down the road and looks kind of interesting if you're into that. And then they're also revealing some more Shattered Glass stuff. So here is Shattered Glass, Rodimus, and Sideswipe. And so that looks really cool. So you can kind of see the bot modes on the box. You can kind of see the alt modes down there. It looks pretty interesting, actually, if you think about it. So pretty cool looking stuff overall. I believe it's a Pulse exclusive. I think all the Shattered Glass is Pulse exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. So this is what they were talking about when they were saying Nacelle earlier. This is the Legacy Evolution Voyager Nacelle. And so it's a Voyager, but now it's in closed box. So I don't know. I'm a little confused on that. But anyhow, Legacy Evolution Voyager they're just basically reusing that old Old mold for the Seekers for the Tetrajet. Okay, so before we get into Star Wars, we've got to wrap up some details of what's going on in a lot of other things. So if you ordered your Red Gull Wing, it should be shipping by the end of July. And so I got my shipping notice, so mine's in the mail right now. So just a little bit of delay on that, not a big deal. I've been waiting a while. I don't want to rush perfection. This is a fantastic figure and vehicle. I'm really impressed with it. Also, we have this. So we've got a head, just a random head sculpt for any military figure that you want to pop it on. They just happen to have this one because I don't think they like the head sculpt on that one. So they just popped a random head sculpt on this figure just so you can kind of see what it looks like. So if you're a G.I. Joe fan, then you might want to watch out for these head sculpts. They're doing a lot of great head sculpts there. And then Ramen Toys got their Marshall, some pictures of the Marshall, but we also have prototypes, so we're going to follow that up with this prototype right here. And I think we might have seen this before, but they keep tweaking and making them better, and which I think is what every company should be doing. You shouldn't just rush it to market, and they're taking their time on these so that when they come out, you're happy with them forever, and it's not something like, oh well, let's just get another iteration down the road. They're high quality and look amazing, so I look forward to both of these. Now, there's a couple more pictures of this Cobra ship that I don't have any more information. I've been trying to dig and find price, availability for the trouble bubbles for this ship, and I still can't find it out. I mean, this is one of those things where Brian Flynn is getting the hype behind this, shocked everybody with it, and set people up by going out specifically saying, we're not doing vehicles, we're not doing vehicles, we're not doing... He said that so many times. I was like, yeah, I got it. It's fine. And then they did vehicles for the reaction, so it was kind of like a marketing ploy on his behalf. But anyway, that looks pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff. Silverhawks, we've got the VAC metalized. Okay, Brian says it's either going to be $65 or $75. So those are the two price points, probably going to be $75. But every other specialty item they've made was $65. And I believe it's in the company's best interest to keep these at $65. I'd be in on two of each of these at $65. At $75, I'd just be struggling to do that. But I think that, yes, we did kind of get duped into buying the cartoon version before we get the VAC metalized. But I still don't want to get rid of my cartoon version even once I acquire this. So that's my personal feeling. I think that there'll be a lot of people mass selling their cartoon versions cheap when they get their hands on these. And so that's a plus, I guess, for people who waited. But then it's a negative for like BBCS, Entertainment Earth, that's going to be stuck with all those for years. And still remember, Ramen Toys going to be putting their take out in their line that's called Titanium Titans, and they should be pretty shiny. I'm not going to guarantee VAC metalized, but pretty dang shiny. All right, here we are with an Elkhorn, and this is NECA's Elkhorn figure, and he looks great. The thing about it is that I didn't know that they were going to make this, and nobody else did either. They're spraying it on you, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm starting to wonder, though, like, what's their logic on which character to make first or next? Are they looking at LJN and seeing which one is the cheapest, most common figure on there? Because that's what it seems like. They're just like, hey, let's just pick the most common figures that are out there. The reasoning behind that would make sense, because the most common, cheapest LJN figures are the ones that most people have and probably have some sort of connection to. And oddly enough, that is the logic. So getting into Turtles, this is the Super 7 Turtles van, and of course it's got this is the whatever colors they had laying around injection, but it also starts to make you wonder, would they do some other things with this van? Are we going to get a redo into the Channel 6 news van or anything like that? Probably not. I doubt it, but who knows? I mean, there's a world of possibilities that they could jump into if they wanted to. Now, I don't follow the Super 7 Turtle stuff. I'm NECA Turtles, so this is all interesting to me, but these are allegedly new that nobody knew about, or there's a reveal, or maybe this is an upcoming wave. I really don't know. It looks cool. It's cool enough for me, but I think we've got most of this, except for the space Raphael, which is actually on display in NECA's booth at the same exact time. Like, that's coming out. Speaking of NECA's booth, we got all these turtles coming out right here. I think this is going to be another 4-pack coming along the way. So, I kind of like the idea that you can buy all the turtles in one 4-pack and not have to track down 2 2-packs or 4 turtles packed with other things. That's kind of cool. That's acceptable to me. But you have to bite off that big old price of like $150 at once. So there's a plus and a minus, positive and a negative to everything. But anyhow, there it is. This is kind of the stuff cooking up over there at NECA. There's so much going on at NECA. So, it's kind of like there's this guy for NECA. I don't know who this is, but everyone says is a pretty obscure character. And then we've got like Raph in an apron or whatever he's wearing there. I don't know. So I don't know much about all this stuff. They're going deep. The deeper the cuts they go, I still think the deeper they go and the deeper the cuts they go, the lower the production, because they know it's not going to appeal to everyone. I don't usually talk much about Marvel Legends, but I do like these X-Men with this. It's the classic packaging, and then on the bottom here you see the 5 figures that are going to be in this 1997 set, which is pretty cool. Those are the smaller figures. Then you have the standard Marvel Legends up top, and those are X-Men. So I think I might be chasing most of those down. Pretty exciting. And if I get Wolverine, believe it or not, it's my first Wolverine in the 1/12 scale. I know I'm bouncing around this Gargoyle here. I'm kind of looking at franchise more than company. So NECA's Gargoyle. This is the Armored David Xanos. And so evidently you can swap the head out and you can have a Xanos in this body. So interesting gimmick to still use those. I guess that's a plot line because I don't watch the show. I've never really watched the show. I just think they're cool. And so I'm sticking with this line until it goes too crazy. But I think that you get bang for your buck with the figures. They're big. They're impressive. They look good. And with that, I think the human figures look amazing too. So NECA can nail pretty much anything that they sculpt. So this past week, they did put back the 1989 McFarlane Batmobile Gold Label with Batman 89 up for pre-order. I was able to snag mine because of Mega J Retro. I'll just give him all the credit, 100%. I wouldn't have gotten it without him and his telling everybody about it, and then his live streaming about it to remind everybody. So, anyhow, here they are coming with their fall lineup, and they look super classic, sort of looking just like Superpowers. I've got my Superpowers collection, but if any of these in hand look better than what I've got in my Superpowers collection, I'm going to be doing some swapping outs. So, but these are bigger, so there is that challenge too, the 7-inch. Here we go with a few more of the characters, and I just think that I didn't really like the crazy looks in some of the characters, and some of these do have some crazy looks to them. I like the super ultra classics. That's me with the ultra classic, and I know that's not everybody, because people are kind of sick of I got 8 of the classic figures. I understand the DC collectors that have been collected for decades, but I haven't. I haven't been collecting for decades. This Batman and Robin collection though is pretty interesting. It's something I don't really know if this has been made before, but I know like they've made a Mr. Freeze before, but not looking like this. I think that Mr. Freeze looks good. Of course, the Batman and the Robin look good. All of this fits the movie very well. So, great job with that, and kudos. And then lastly, we've got a really nice looking Aquaman, a decent looking Wonder Woman, and then of course this Batman. So, looking pretty good overall. Lots of Star Wars news going on, but the first thing I want to talk about is that they did answer the question on can they make Slave Leia or Hutt Slayer, and the short answer and the long answer was yes, they can, but they're not going to. They're not going to comment on future releases. So, could there be a Slave Leia in the future called Hutt Slayer? Maybe. I don't know. Don't really know, but all I can say is that we need updates to what they had going on back there. But speaking of updates to what we had going on, we have updates to Jabba the Hutt. So here is a Pulse. Is it a Pulse exclusive Jabba the Hutt? $90. It comes with 8D8 Salacious Crumb, and pre-orders open tomorrow. So this is one of those things that's pre-orders for a $90 item that I think the one at Walmart was the last one that really caught my eye. If you have your Cell Barge, you got one with the Cell Barge. But this is Super Ultra Classic Return of the Jedi. Vintage collection, and it looks really good. Spot on, but $90. And I think I might have 5 different iterations of Jabba the Hutt. So I'm going to pass on it myself, not saying anything negative about this. To anybody that wants to get it, just congrats, get it, enjoy it. But there's also something else that I really haven't been paying attention to, but we have pre-orders back up for this guy. So really, in the grand scheme of things, if you think about it, this could have been a HasLab, and they probably talked about it being a HasLab and said, nah, let's just put it out there and make it. And there they are. The first round of pre-orders did sell out, and it was sold out on the site for a while. Then SDCC started up, and guess what? They put pre-orders back up for this thing. So I think they're doing that because, like, hey, if we make 12,000 of this, and then they sell out, whatever, we could just make another 5,000 if we want. I think that's what they're doing. I think that's the thought process behind it. But this kind of shows that they really don't need to HasLab everything, and this is proof, especially Star Wars. And I bet you if they HasLabbed it, it might have failed. Here's the Black Series pre-Vizsla, and then I guess you see the Grand Inquisitor for the Vintage Collection. And so I want to say there's a lot of people talking about what else is coming in Vintage Collection, and I am going to be jumping around a bit between Vintage and Black Series because that's just the way it is. But here is the card back, they say, for more Vintage Collection stuff. So we're approaching 300, and I'm sure we'll eventually have to redo that little bubble in the top right to accommodate when they hit 1,000, VC 1000. But anyway, that's going to be a running joke on the channel. But there are some characters I'm not really familiar with all of that, what's going on back there, and I'm not sure if we've already gotten some of those, but they're saying they're future releases based on this card back. Okay, so getting into this reveals and all these pictures here, we're going to try to move as quick as we can. This is Grand Admiral Thrawn from the Rebels, and obviously we're going to have this Ahsoka show and a lot of Rebels spill over into the Ahsoka show. Spoilers, I guess. Maybe not a spoiler, but anyway, here is Ahsoka Tano from the Ahsoka show, and then I think we have already paid for the Disney Plus. Not sure if we're going to have it next year or not, so we're going to just go and watch it because it's already paid for. So there's pre-Vizsla in the Clone Wars for Vintage Collection, and looks pretty good. Doesn't look like the pre-Vizsla I've seen in the past. Just it definitely looks like a much different deco than what we saw in the past. But here we go with Darth Revan in the Knights of the Old Republic packaging. So that's the Vintage Collection. And then we get into, this is, I don't like these. This is the Sabine Wren. Not a bad figure. I actually think Sabine is a great character, a great figure. This is going to be live action Sabine versus the cartoon. I still prefer the cartoon look, but that's me personally. And so here she is, but don't really know what she looks like because of the packaging, but it's Dead Horse is beat really well, really well. And then we're getting into a Chewbacca, and this one is going to be a Life Day Chewbacca. So, and I will admit, and a lot of people are going to be like, why didn't you watch the panel? There's so much going on, I didn't watch the Star Wars panel. I watched tidbits of it, but bit here and there. There's so much going on right now. So this 5-pack here is called the Chewbacca Life Day, Imperial Officer 4-pack, not a 5-pack, 4-pack. Pulse and Shop Disney exclusive. And by the way, so was the Chewbacca was a exclusive too. So the other thing that I think is going to be really cool, and I pre-ordered it right away just to make sure I got one coming in, but I'm pretty sure we'll find them in the stores, is the R2-D2 Black Series, the new refresh, or the newer one. And this is special to me because this is the very first Black Series I bought. When they first started and I saw R2-D2 on the shelf, I actually passed on it for like 3 weeks, and finally I just I'll go ahead and buy one. And I still have that one. And so with that, that's my first Black Series figure ever. I passed on Black Series for like the first 4 or 5 waves until they started showing up in clearance. And I do think that this one is going to be better than the first one. We definitely need a refresh on this figure. Okay, so we get a live-action version of Ahsoka from Ahsoka, and I also think that she looks pretty good. And so I think we already got one pretty much like this. We're also getting the live-action version of Hera Syndulla. And so with that, I think all of these are pretty much going to be the live-action ones. And there we go with Sabine Wren. So they're going to match the actors, actresses in there, the likenesses, slightly different costumes, and the previous ones were cartoon, from what I understand. The ones I have look a little bit more cartoony. But let's get into some holiday stuff here. We've got the Ewoks, and it's a holiday Ewok. Any excuse to get another Ewok. I bet you this one sells the best out of all the holiday ones, and I think that is a Shop Disney exclusive. This one here is the Salacious Crumb and the Jawa, and that one is going to be an exclusive to, where's that one at? That's a fan channel exclusive. And then we got to move into the Walmart exclusive, which is this guy right here, and that is the KX Security Droid Holiday Edition, and yeah, pretty cool. And then we've got, I think, Amazon exclusive right here with the Mandalorian Scout Holiday Edition. So, pretty cool stuff going on right there if you're into this. Now, I got a Boba Fett for a holiday Boba Fett, and so I was happy with that. And I'm going to put the holiday Boba Fett up under the tree every year, and the Turbo Man. So I have a Turbo Man doll. Turbo Man doll! This is probably an interesting one here, the Purge Trooper Holiday Edition, to look like a Nutcracker kind of costume. That's the way I look at it, but you also get a mouse droid and fun stuff. Fun stuff with all of that. And then, oh wait, what is this? We got a snowman? So here comes a snowman. Oh, Snowman Snow Trooper. This is actually quite interesting. You making a Snow Trooper snowman, and they're throwing in a torture droid. Like, that's so holiday-ish. Very interesting. We're also getting into some new lightsaber stuff, and so we've got a Ahsoka lightsaber. Do you have to have two of these? Can you only have one? So, Ahsoka lightsaber. Then we're going to get into some retro collection stuff. And retro collection, this is, so this is Return of the Jedi Wave 2. But technically it's like Wave 5, 7, 12, I don't know. They don't have them like adequately numbered in series. I don't know if I like the way they're doing it now. This is $72 for 6 figures. I don't know if I like that, but this is how you. I pre-ordered mine after tax. It's $80. That's with free shipping. So, and my premium might run out soon. So definitely had to pre-order that. The two main ones people are wanting is that Mon Mothma, and then of course the Yak Face, and then the rest of them aren't really hard to find in the vintage line, which makes it kind of strange that you can go get an Admiral Akbar for like $12, and you could probably get most of these figures aside from Wicket, and the Royal Guard probably, yeah, around the $12 mark, loose in good condition. So it starts to make you wonder if it's really going to do well. I'm curious. Will I be buying a second set on clearance? Maybe. And we got the Ghost. This is the HasLab. It is the Ghost, and is it from, are they going to call it the Ahsoka Ghost or the Rebels Ghost? I mean, I would say go call it the Rebels. Call it what it is, because they are going to have Rebels figures with it. So it's big, it's massive, it's impressive, it looks good. You've got a docking, so the Ghost is the big one, the Phantom is the small one. It's got a Phantom 2 to dock with it. They say it interacts, or should interact, with the original existing Phantom. I don't know that for sure, but this is crazy, big, huge, impressive. $500. They need is it 8,000? 8,000 backers with this thing. It does kind of come apart. You have some compartments in there. It opens up. A lot of really cool stuff that's going on with it. All right, so they have a size chart for you to see that it is this much bigger than the other thing. So it appears to be bigger than the Falcon and the Razor Crest, and not quite as long, but wider than what we got with the HasLab Cell Barge for the same price point of $500. So kind of trying to prove that it's worth in the world of Star Wars. All right, so for the backs, you get this. You get the Hera Syndulla to, I guess, pilot it and drive around it. So this is the cartoon version figure made for the first time in the vintage collection style, not in the whatever you call they did before. It wasn't retro. It was just 5 POA on a Rebels card back. They were like $8 back in the day when they did that. Now, if you get 11,000, you get an Ezra Bridger. and it looks pretty cool. And Ezra Bridger looks great. I think that's great. I think a lot of people really did want this to be made, and I don't know. Are they going to make an Ezra Bridger a separate one for the Vintage Collection? I don't know. It's one of those things that it's kind of, this starts to make you wonder if, I'm sure it's going to hit these numbers. I'm sure that the backers are all going to get this. But what about people that don't want to back this and they don't want a $500 ship, but they just want the figures? And I'm wondering if they'll come out with these in slightly different color variations or different clothing options or something along those lines. Now, they've done that in the past. They've set a precedent, so it could happen. Kanan Jarrus, and you've got kind of like the blind look to it. So when he went blind in the show and all that. And so Kanan is going to be at the, see, what is it, 14,000 mark? And then we get a Zeb at the 17,000 mark. So there it is for the unlocks, and quite impressive what's going on with it. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't think I'm going to back it. I think I'm out. Just because I just don't need it. I don't need a $500 ghost ship. But people, there's like thousands of backers. It's like climbing quickly. And last I checked, it was like 5,000 or something like that. So climbing quickly on this. It's going to fund. It's going to probably hit all the tiers without me involved in it. And I don't think it's a bad ship. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. But I don't really need this. So I'm excited for those who are excited for it. And I don't want to kill anybody's enthusiasm over this project. All right, what do you think about this week's weekly news in review? And of course, check out Saturdays if you want to see more stuff, because this has been an amazing week of SDCC reveals. Just mind-blowing. But I want to hear what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.